Hello. This is a lute harp, but I'm gonna fix it because it's a bit broken and it's untuned. A critical roll, a failure roll of 1. I think I have a dice over here. I'm just gonna check out my harp because I'm gonna send it in for reparations because it's as I showed you, it's a bit broken. Where is my die? Well, anyway, that doesn't matter. Like this is not good. This is very bad. For the acoustic. So I'm gonna try my best because I know some of the strings are a bit they have to be fixed because they're a bit loose. But I'm gonna try to just tune it with the strings that actually can be tuned and isn't having the need for fixing. This, I think, like this C. Oh, it's a C sharp. Okay. C sharp is in the word. Oh. It's very long since I actually played any music with my instruments and well, this is actually holding no, yeah, it actually holds now. It usually doesn't. Let's just see if we can. This is a C. C. I used to be a singer. I am not anymore. But everybody can sing, even if they don't have like a trained voice. But I wouldn't claim that I could sing the same things that I did when I could sing. That would be a blasphemy towards the. Oh, what are you doing? Oh. This, I think, actually, it is a D. I'm just gonna tune it into C major. They're actually holy. I'm actually not like I rarely actually try to learn myself to play certain musical pieces on instruments. Like I used to sing, and I used to sing in a church choir, and I used to sing classical music and opera. But now I just sing whatever, and not in the same standard. Of course, when you sing classical music, opera and stuff, that is a lot of work. It's like athleticism, just with your voice and with your like diaphragm. And I don't have a piano anymore. This is the F. You needed to go low. This is the first time I'm actually tuning my harp in. Well, I haven't played it with big nails. I have longer nails now. And when I play music, as I say, like when I sing to like whatever piece I'm singing or whatever I'm singing. But when I play on instruments, I just flips away. But this has to be repaired because it has has been damaged, which is sad. It has to go to the hospital. We were on the F, so we need to go to this. Do 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 do. Yeah, G. This is the G string, and it actually doesn't need to be tuned. I have never in my life actually changed myself the strings on a harp, and this is my first harp I own. No, don't go, no. Ooh. There we have you. So, this must be broken. You need to cut the air on this is the B string. No. Will it stay there? No. So the B string is one of those that I have to. Can it do something like here? Like where is it? Where is it doing this? Because immediately if I release it now, yeah, it starts turning. Why is that? Okay, so the B string has to be fixed because it has lost its motivation. It has lost its will to sing. But yeah, I wonder why, and I wonder how I can fix it myself. I'm gonna ask the guy at the music store what he did last time because I was struggling with a retarded C. It's still fixed. Hi! I'm fixing my harp. It needs some TLC to be putting it mild. And it needs to be glued. And I don't have tools to glue it and hold it in place. And fixing the strings, like I have a guy that have fixed my harp strings before, so I'm just gonna take my harp back to him. And I don't know how to do it myself because first of all I don't have the tools, I think, but like it's something like with the B string here that has lost its willpower. I didn't bang it on anything. I think when I'm not sure what actually happened. It can be just that it has become wet or something, or that is just the glue that is bad or something. But it's just a glue thing. And of course with the strings that is not possible to tune. Those we can fix, but the guy that does that for me, he knows how to do it. I don't know. So we are just gonna kind of lost his will. I have lost my will to hang on. Hang in there. That is kind of like a Monday tune. It is Monday. Yeah, okay, but okay, B number 1 or whatever is in need of repair. C. We need to go down a bit. Yeah, there you are. And that is okay. That is almost okay, which is impressive because I haven't played this harp in months. E F string. I really miss the time I could sing like really beautifully and had like control of my vocal cords, that I could sing coloratura soprano, because that was fun. And if you ever want to wake up in the morning with like a hype track, Baroque coloratura opera is kind of like yeah, just search that up. No, it's not like that, but it's I don't play. I did teach myself to play Secunda from Skyrim, but I don't play songs on harp. I just play my thoughts, kind of. The only thing I actually like have played of musical instruments to play a piece or anything is by voice or by piano. Piano, because if you are being classical trained, or if you are in like a music conservatory, you have to be able to play piano, because you have to tune yourself and your but I don't have a piano right now, so my opera skills are gone. And also a lot of the like power from the voice comes from your diaphragm, so the muscle power I had there is also gone. It's hard to beat. But I did have favorite musical pieces I sang. Like my favorite opera is it's Verdi's La Traviata, and there is I think is it in first act? Yes, it's in the first act. It's one of the most impressive vocal like marathon, 15 minutes of complete like athleticism with your voice. It is so impressive, and it's actually supposed to be kind of symbolic to a sex scene. If you would believe that. And fun fact about La Traviata and Verdi. Verdi is one of the well-renowned composers, but the time that he played La Traviata for the first time, it was hated. Like nobody liked it. And his quote from that was it the music or was it the singers? Was it the players? Was it the musicians? And I believe it was the musicians, because it is a destructively hard piece to play. But yeah, I'm not sure if that is probably not copyrighted music, so I can actually probably show you that later. This is the F, and we are on the wrong one. You need to go a piece down. No. I'm using a tuner. Interesting, yeah, it is. Oh, I'm sorry. I just bumped into the microphone. It is very interesting. Like, a lot of people think opera is very boring, but it's actually very... it has its volatile moments. But it also has its boring moments. But like with La Traviata, I can try and find the... I have no skill to match that skill anymore. But there was a time that I was close to think I could manage to sing it. But yeah, let me find it, because I think like La Traviata is not copyrighted, and if it is, then that sucks. But yeah, and it's a long aria, so I'm not gonna. Maybe you will recognize the intro, because it's very well known. And it's beautiful. And you will probably recognize the party song. I can show you afterwards, because that is one of the most known opera or yeah, songs from opera. And La Traviata, it is a story about a woman who is the soprano, of course, because the soprano always dies, who is kind of a escort, I think, yeah. And she gets tuberculosis, or what did they call it? Wasting disease. So she dies. You probably will know the like the what is it called? It's like the party song. It was you, weren't you? No. But yeah, I was close to maybe managing to be singing this role, but it is like one of the most I wasn't there when I was at my best, but I could have managed it if I did work more, but I chose to quit. And no, I don't have any singing power. I am blaspheming the piece if I'm singing anything. But well, yeah, but it's not to the standard that the notes, like classical music, is the very, 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 like, you are not a star on a scene singing your tunes. No, you are a medium that is singing art. So when you are supposed to sing, like, when you are supposed to sing classical music, you are supposed to sing it to the composer's way of interpreting the notes, and then you are supposed to sing it perfectly as the notes and the composers wants you to. And oh my god, what was her name? The most famous soprano. Oh my god, what was her name? That is horrible that I don't remember her name. I have to find her name. She was one of the most like talented in her time, like bel canto singers. But she had a break, or because of something, I don't remember what. And when she tried to come back to opera singing, she couldn't. She couldn't match her skill from earlier, so she couldn't. She didn't want to like offend the art form, so she. I think she stopped singing. I just have to find her name because it's on the tip of my tongue. But and she's very well known, so most people know her. I have the movie. There was a movie, or like a documentary made of her. God damn it! Why is nothing working? Where is everything? There is everything. There are my movies. Now we're gonna find the name. She's like, how can I forget her name? Maria Callas. There we have it. And like, do we see a big picture here? No, don't. Well, you see a small picture of her. She had a way of singing on stage, but not like the other singers just sang a song. She sang it with emotions. Like she did a Stanislavski, like she immersed herself with the song. So she really brought emotion and into the character, and not just the music to the stage. So she was in her prime, just one of the best. But of course, when you are one of the best, that talent is of course gonna fade. Every soprano is actually gonna lose their voice around when they are 50 years old. They can't get a contract at least not at the Norwegian opera. They have to kind of parlay or something for a new contract, because when you are a soprano singer, you can go into something that is called spinto, and spinto is why the soprano is the main role, the main character, and she always dies. But because she, when you go into spinto, it damages your voice gradually over the years, but you can penetrate through fortissimo, like the loudest part of the orchestra. So when you have to go into like a full and have the high notes, you can penetrate through the orchestra and make and you don't fade away into, and you have that power in your voice. And this is the lyrical soprano. The lyrical soprano is the most most sopranos are lyrical sopranos. If you think about God, what is her name? Like Little Ponytail pop star. Oh my God, have I just forgotten all the names in the world? Oh my God, Jesus Christ, names. She is known for singing like squeaky tones, like was it Whitney Houston too? I don't remember. Like names today is apparently not my place, but at least that is a soubrette. If you can sing like whistle tones, you are a soubrette soprano, and a soubrette soprano can reach the highest notes a soprano can sing. So not everybody can be a soubrette, but a soubrette has a very like you can reach the highest notes, but you don't have the most powerful voice. So a soubrette will usually be used as a young girl in an opera. I have to fix that. So the bee doesn't want to be To be or not to be? That is the question. Do you want to be part of this? I'm slacking me off. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, there we have something. You have to do that, and you have to go there. No, I chose to because I chose to stop singing opera before I made it into my like main career because uh, it involves so much traveling. Like you have to travel worldwide, and you have to have a work ethic that is always like if you fuck up a piece, that can be your instant death. Um, Especially if you are in Italy, because they are kind of like you have to actually sign a contract that you're allowed to be thrown off the stage, kind of physically with like the medieval vegetables and stuff, because they have like almost like hooligans that is very into opera and very like they don't consider the singer good enough until they have made the piece like met the standard that the piece requires, and it is quite terrifying. But I'm not that sad. My voice has faded because I can always like train it back if I had a piano. But yeah, it's rough being a singer or being just like a stage. But probably being an opera singer is maybe the most stressful and taxing like career stage career you can have, I think, because you have maybe one show where you crack your voice and suddenly you don't get roles anymore. And like even Pavarotti has fallen on his flat face on his stage. Like he was very heavy, so one time he just like was gonna step on up on a chair, and he just went straight through the chair. And a lot of tenors have to carry like the soprano while they are singing, and that has a lot of muscle power and strength to actually keep your voice, and like you're using like you are not using your vocal cords as much as you're using your diaphragm, and your diaphragm and your muscles around like here is if you breathe with your stomach and you breathe with this part of your stomach, like almost like you're like making your stomach big, that is how you're supposed to breathe when you sing. And if you do that, you will have like a powerful voice that doesn't strain your vocal cords. Like we have all heard Miley Cyrus, and she probably does more than just singing weird, but she has something that is like nodes on her vocal cords, which you don't get rid of because she has a wrong singing technique that has strained her vocal cords. So if anybody is to sing, remember to sing with your diaphragm. Like almost like a way to trick yourself into learning it is to just exhaust all your breath, like, and when you have no breath left, you just lower your jaw. So, and then just inhale through your nose, and then you actually use the exact muscles. And you can hold your hand in your like between your ribs to just feel if you are tightening the right muscles. And it takes some time to actually practice them up. Like right now, I feel I have no power at all. But that is, and singing is all up to muscle power and training. everybody can learn to sing, and not everybody can be a soubrette, but and they categorize opera singers into what they call a fach, which is which category of voice quality you have. So if you are a soprano, a lyrical soprano like me, you have a certain kind of portfolio. You have to like be able to sing, and you have a certain kind of range that you can sing, and you can't sing like soubrette notes. I don't think there is any. Yeah, I do. I'm classically trained. I had one of the most intense singing lessons I used to have was when I had two opera singers that used to train me, and they usually they sometimes started fighting in Italian, and I don't speak Italian. I can sing in Italian, but I don't speak in Italian, so it was kind of daunting. And I'm just standing on the stage like, what do you want me to do? Am I doing this right? And they were kind of fighting on how they wanted me to do things. So it is not like it's not a diva approach to the stage. It's more like I am in honor if I am able to produce this piece to the quality that the audience accepts. And it's kind of like you can lose your career in one show, because that has happened to a lot of opera singers, and it is very hard to get jobs, and you have to travel. So my choice for not continuing that, like that career path, was because just thinking about spending so much time in airports and having to deal with the extreme, like you have to train so much, and you have to have so much competition. It just would stress me to the death. Also, like I don't like traveling that much, so yeah. But I found myself even more in love with theater. I'm actually cinema, like with movie and movie work while I was working with opera and classical singing. So in the end, I'm still doing a lot of drama on stage, but and that is like a lot more aloof. Like it's clowning basically. You're just a monkey on the stage, and sometimes you have harder roles. Sometimes like if you're doing improv, like I've done a lot of improv lately, you just do stupid stuff, and it's meant to be mediocre. Like you just go there and then you do something, but you don't know what you're doing until you are doing it. That is kind of the gist of it. So you are creating something in the moment with other people, and there is a unique thing with working with people in theater, because it's the only place you will find people shout and scream and hate and like curse you and love you, but in the end, the way you get bonds with people you have to work with, both emotionally and drainingly, and with a lot of creative processes, it's stressful, and a lot of people have a lot of good ideas, and a lot of people have egos, and if we don't have like a main director to make the authority to take out, this is what we're doing, it can be a hot mess. And one of my best friends in theater, like when I was studying, was also the one I had most fights with. So sometimes, and that is actually something that happens with kids too. Like the kids that sometimes fight the most end up also being most um, like connected, kind of. So and that you have to be able to stand and not personally be feeling the attack of your ideas. If you come with an idea to the stage, like, let's do this, and let's play Romeo and Juliet like we are in French nowadays, and then somebody said, no, let's not do that, and you can't be offended if your idea kind of just gets wrecked. And if you're doing comedy, like, this is brutal, because we had a show. Oh my god, it was so horrible, because a lot of people don't think that the audience is part of the thing that happens on stage. They are absolutely a part of the entire thing. Because if the audience isn't giving the vibe, that is absolutely a part of when things doesn't work out. So we were having this comedy show, and none of the jokes landed at all, like not even one. And it was the most awkward fucking thing ever. And we just, like, nobody was laughing. The audience was quietly hoping we would just suddenly die and they could leave, and we were just like, can we just endure this? But at the same time, those moments of extreme, like, highs and lows on stage, like extreme anxiety or extreme failure, extreme success, everything is kind of like an experience that you can cherish in a way, because you don't get to, like, if you really portray a character that somebody in the audience relate to, they don't you don't usually see people like drop their guards to the degree that, like, social norms and etiquette kind of just flies out the window. So when you are performing something and you actually see people being emotionally, like, indulged in it, or even like moved by it, that is kind of like, I wouldn't call it gratitude. That is kind of like a rare view into somebody that is a stranger, just emotionally uncensoring themselves, which you don't do in the public. Like, everybody is like having a kind of way to walk and stuff. Yeah, it does. A lot of work in drama is good for everybody, because it builds character. And it builds you up to actually be able to dare just do stuff and totally just clown yourself to fall on your face, and not be scared of being that clown. And in that way, you kind of end up having a lot more guts to, like, yeah, I'm gonna do new stuff. I'm gonna try this. I can surely make this. You get an attitude that isn't that, like, scared of what people think about you, because a lot of things that you do first when you enter into drama is you are supposed to just be a clown. You're just gonna go in there and just be totally, like, silly, and you have to be, like, capable of exhausting yourself for if the director of you are requiring you to do something until you kind of, like, almost feel like this is madness. You kind of have to be the monkey on stage, because and that is kind of like, I had this is maybe the one time I really, really struggled. Because I was supposed to just, this was really easy. I was just supposed to very, very, very slowly, from lying on the ground, just standing up. And I was gonna do this as I was old and slow. And I think we used like 2 hours or something, where he said, no, start over, slower. And I was just like, but I had like a strange, I have kind of a strange way of being on stage. Like, I kind of lose my personal, like, if I have somebody directing me, and them giving me like kind of like what they are wanting me to be a medium of their representation, or what they are thinking, like their idea. Yeah, it's a very good way to learn, and it's a very good way to learn a lot about yourself, like your boundaries, your comfort zones, and also how to conquer your comfort zones. It is a perfect place to start if you need to kind of test out who you are. And taking like a subject in drama is like, I advise it to anybody, because in the end it's just play and fun. And of course, yeah, you have the theoretical stuff, of course, and you have Shakespeare and everything, but you also have like subjects that is just like, I am taking a subject right now that is a review, which is kind of like just like what is called in parody maybe, like just skits for fun, and making fun of like politicians and social like issues. That is kind of like what you are making shows of, and that is just being silly, and actually just like a lot of people don't like to sing, but a lot of people on my in my class who didn't like singing and didn't have like perfect voices or anything, they still sang, and they, even though like voice cracks happens and stuff, they didn't quit. So I was really happy to work with people that is like that daring, because there is something weird that happens when you go from just like saying things in a monotone. Like if you speak like this, everybody does that. But if you are supposed to speak like this is kind of weird, and you kind of like, why does that entail anxiety into us so easily? So a lot of people have a bit more anxiety about singing, but it shouldn't be like that, because we are always talking in a tonal voice. Like I can talk like this, but yeah, or I can talk like this. Why is those two ways so strangely, like the one of, if you're singing, why is that more anxiety inducing than just speaking? So I think a lot of people actually should sing more, because everybody can learn to sing if they just use their muscles and practice. So yeah, there is nobody that is tone deaf, unless they don't know how to understand language. Like tone deafness, then you wouldn't even understand language, because we all have like we have this tonal, like Simlish is or gibberish is like a good representation. It's like it's just like sounds. So if you're tone deaf, you wouldn't be able to understand sounds. So nobody is tone deaf, but they might be tuned false, or needing to work on how to relax, like their throat muscles or their muscles in their body, and breathe with like lower shoulders, and and this is very good if you have like, if you're working with just a basic breathing exercise for singing. You also are working with how to lower tension in your body. So if you have anxiety, basically the same thing you do for anxiety, but when you're doing the singing kind of routine, if you have like a warm up with your voice, or not necessarily with your voice, if you just do the breath work, that is actually a way to kind of relax your muscles enough to actually release tension. So that is actually very yeah, everybody can sing. Like there is nobody that can't learn to sing. It all has to do with like I can try and show. A lot of people think that singing comes from like the vocal cords, like here. But you don't use the vocal cords that much. They do their things on their own, kind of. The thing you use, I'm gonna try and show, is the muscles that is here, but not your six pack. It's more like the muscle that is around here. So if you exhale all your air and then just breathe through your nose, that is a way to trick those muscle into finding them. But if you put your like hands here on your like waist, you can feel those muscles. And when you are supposed to use your voice, when you inhale, you are supposed to use these muscles to hold your voice. It has nothing to do with lung capacity. If you have good like support here, you can hold a tune long. Like I don't think I can hold that long right now, but you can, like, if you have very good muscle qualities here, that is how you kind of use or press your lungs and the air. Also how you shape your mouth. In opera, you are supposed to visually, you are supposed to try to sing to the person in the back end, and you never use microphones. Like this is the first time, no, not the first time, I actually did some singing, rhythmically singing, like pop singing, on some concerts, where I just had to spontaneously learn how to use a microphone, because I hadn't used a microphone before, even though I had been training classically a lot. But you don't use microphone necessarily on a stage. They do that in New York, or when they are like recording maybe, but never to amplify your voice. You amplify your voice with your muscles. So that is maybe horrible if you have neighbors, but at the same time, you have to train that, because when you really reach that power like this, like you can the most damaging piece is right off the Valkyries, because it's so extremely loud and straining on your voice. You can't do many of those shows in a row without actually having to have an hiatus just to get your voice back, because it actively is damaging your voice. Cool, I never knew. I always thought I had most to do with your vocal cords. No, it has nothing to do with those. The only thing you have to do with your throat is your vocal cords have to be like, your larynx is here. You can kind of if you're relaxed enough, you can kind of just move it around. And in your throat, like back in your throat, you have like this palate, this like soft palate. If you raise it, just like that is the way you are supposed to hold your face when you're singing. So if you sing like this, then you're gonna be sounding like it sounds unenthusiastic. But if you raise your palate, then you can sing like this, and that is how you actually use it. And if you see on your throat that you are like straining a lot here, then you should try to relax. Like you can see it a lot of pop stars doesn't sing right, so they have like these extremely like blood vessels strained. You can see that the muscle in their throats are screaming stop. But it's like rhythmically singing and classical singing is taught very differently, and jazz singing is also something that is taught differently. I haven't been trained rhythmically, but everybody can sing, and even if you sing like false, it's like if you do have a false note, this is something special only to choirs, and it only happens. This is a sound that only can be created in choirs, because not everybody is able to sing exactly according to the note. So somebody is singing a bit false, and that creates like this unique sound when a whole choir is singing together, because people can't always produce the same perfect note. So if everybody was singing perfect, we would actually lose a lot of the choir music that is like I find it one of the most beautiful, relaxing thing. And yeah, I think this is the song. No, this is not the song. Everybody has heard this song. It's the drinking song. Oh. And yeah, because a lot of La Traviata is a party. And she's a party girl until she can't get out of bed anymore because she's dying. And she falls in love, even though she's kind of like an escort. She's an escort. And they move to the country and everything is gold and glitters until she dies. I don't have the quality for that. If you hear somebody that has a lot of these, like everybody has heard what is it? Der Holle Rasha. Like this it's from Mozart. I can't sing it really well now, but to be honest, yeah, every opera is a sad story. The soprano is always dying in the third or fifth act. It's always, if I was to work in opera, I would be dying every day at the stage. So that is kind of like, and it has the most beautiful, even though it does a weird thing that is unusual to third acts, because when she is singing her death note, she's actually singing quite powerfully. And usually when you are dying, you're supposed to like not have the same power. And it's also one of my favorite, like This Teneste la promessa. It's not this. But she's reading the letter where he has left her. And she said, "L'ho ferito." Due strane solo. Questo sacrificio che he has left her. And she gets tardi. And this goes into her death, like, but it's a long thing. So the most beautiful part of this, well, this is actually one of the most beautiful. Addio del passato. So adieu, or goodbye. I don't remember the lyrics, so unfortunately. But it is. So this is kind of where she is. And this is symbolic. Like if you have a... But yeah, she's saying goodbye. The roses. I don't remember all the lyrics. And with a lot of movies, they have their own theme songs. So this is the romantic theme. When everything was beautiful before she got tuberculosis. Yeah, I was very passionate about it. Like, I had a lot of fear for the work of art I was supposed to sing. Well, maybe. But I could teach singing, but not to the degree that I feel the standard is there. And this is the hope. I am the fading woman. But she bears the hope until the end. And in her dying scene, she just dies with, "I think I'm coming back to life." Oh, that is a note I don't. This is a symbolic death. I don't remember the lyrics. I'm doing blasphemy here. I don't reach that note. I don't. And if you are to sing, like I was talking about Der Holle Rasche, like from Mozart. That is an aria you shouldn't sing unless you know your voice is capable of straining to that degree that it doesn't damage it. Because if you feel straining, you are actively damaging your vocal cords. And if you end up actively over time damaging your vocal cords, you get Miley Cyrus's voice, which is nodes, and you have to operate them away, but you can never get that back. So don't abuse your voice. If you're learning to sing, if you can't reach the highest notes, don't do it. Just be careful with the voice. And it's very beautiful, but this is not the most impressive part. Like, the marathon of La Traviata is actually a 15 minutes marathon. But yeah, it's not there. Estrano, yeah, it's here. So strange, so strange. She thinks it's strange because she has met somebody that is piquing her interest. And this aria number is the most impressive athleticism of your voice. If you manage this to a good degree, then you have a good muscle power. Because that is hard. And yeah. Because after this Estrano aria, we're going into and this is the where it is in, like, symbolically to a sex scene. You will understand in a moment. I don't remember the name. And it's a very playful. I can't sing that to a great degree. And it's gonna be. And this is where the play starts. This is coloratura. Coloratura is if you have ability to, like kind of if you are very like stretchy in your voice. And this is a hard aria, very hard aria. And yeah, because after a while you have to have the and that is coloratura. You have to have a good color in your voice. But like me. And yeah, and then she hears Alfredo singing from. She thinks it's strange, but it's enticing. Yeah, if you like, I was an amateur when I started, and I started just in an adult age teaching myself. So it's never too late. But like this, here she kind of rejects him. Like, he's like, no, she's not gonna do this. Tullskap, galskap, crazy madness. And this is why it is like insinuating a sex scene, because it's gonna be a lot of this. I hope you do. I hope everybody gets addicted to it, because it is just madness also. Like, thank God. No, thank Mozart for actually picking madness into the opera hall. And she tries to reject him, but he chases her. Oh, that is wrong. No, you don't have to learn Italian. I can't speak Italian. You just have to learn to pronounce it. And you have teachers that teach you the pronunciation with like a Nazi way. I have sung in French, Russian, Italian, Latin, but I don't speak any of those. So. But you can teach like the pronunciation. So this is. It is a sexy, actually. It's just musically, like, expressed. And yeah, this is a hard song because it's intense from start to finish. And it starts long before this aria. Yeah, it's a beautiful opera, but it's not the most straining one. That is right off the Valkyries. Because that is actually damaging your voice. Yeah, but you learn to pronounce. Like I was singing Rusalka, where she's singing to the moon, and I am so sad because I have forgotten a lot of the lyrics. I never did that before, but and that is in Russian, and it's a very beautiful. She's singing to the moon. It's basically like the Little Mermaid, like Ariel, kind of, but the original, like the original fairy tale. And she's singing to the moon, please moon, grant me the ability to be not a water nymph, or yeah. So I can check if I have it here, because I can't remember the. It's something like this. Just have to look for it. Yeah. This is Rusaka. And she's singing to the moon. She just wished for, just like Ariel is wishing for legs to be walking with the other. What is a fire? And how does that work? And it's very romantic. I think I talked with my sister once, and I was like, if you ever are to marry, I would sing this song in your marriage, because it's so romantic. Because it's so longing. Like you have to long so much. And this is Russian. And I do not pronounce Russian correctly anymore, but when I sang it, I could. It's all about just taking it very slowly. You just have to take every like syllable into accordance, and you have a teacher that is like, stop, no, yeah, you have to do this better. Like you are not pronouncing this better enough. So they are very like firm, and that is very good. A good firm teacher is a good quality teacher. But yeah, this is the best part. She just begs for the moon. I don't remember the words. But yeah. And it's also one of the most known. And it's just hauntingly romantic in a way that is like in Romeo and Juliet you have a lot of romance, but it's kind of like this has a more longing tone to it, so it's kind of like yeah, and it's like a Little Mermaid, but she is like, look at the things, and this is a water nymph that is just begging the moon for the same thing, basically, the original. Yeah. And then you have to like foreign people have to sing in Norwegian, and you have to study the syllables, the qualities of how to pronounce. And the hardest one I did was French, because you have to roll like this, and yeah. So what was I was singing from Romeo and Juliet? I think it was. What was his name again? I have to try and find it, because that is also. What was his name? It was. Why don't I remember that name? Maybe it's this. No. This I know is just a lot of music kind of gives you like the dynamic that accentuates the like the story or the thing you are saying. Not so much in musicals. Like High School Musical is still a bit weird. I never seen it actually. But my friend when I was young loved that and saw it daily, like so but it's not the same. But you have like Broadway, like Midnight, like this is fantastic singing too. And yeah, this is the spell. She is like casting herself a vow to the moon. I can't sing that, I know. Oh. Woo was what it was Vox Vox remove. Something Vox. I don't remember. But yeah, that is also maybe it is actually on this album, because that was the hardest pronunciation I ever did. Also, Madame Butterfly. It's probably the saddest opera I ever saw. Oh, I love to hear. Thank you for that. I am very passionate about stuff like this. That is actually why I am so like so obsessive about the storytelling when I'm actually playing games, because I absolutely have a passion for the way stories are told, and not just in music, but in movies, games, books, everything, like and on the stage, everything that plays into the part is so like it's geekdom in my head. But yeah, Madama Butterfly is also, it's just so sad, but because she does with katakana, but it's one of the most beautiful. She's looking for her lover that might come with the ship, and this was in the time where the geishas and like soldiers, whatever, and she kills herself because she I think it was that he leaves her and takes her son away or something. And here she just sings about, oh, I long for you. And this aria, you have to have a lot of power, because it's a lot of orchestra. I don't have that power. And it gets to a like in the end. But it's not, it's just beautiful because it's so wishingly, like she's so in love with him. And then he just crushes her till she kills herself. Cutting this, skipping the cutscenes. I turn off my camera because I don't want to interrupt it. Like it's the like the little gem. I know that I can't understand unless you have a speedrunner or trying to speedrun or whatever, and you just don't care about the story. You just want to do the thing. But yeah. Oh, this song I was actually supposed to sing, and it reminds me of spring. She's talking about she's just a poor next door neighbor, and she works as she makes like lace. So the flowers that she makes is just embroidered. And she is talking with her neighbor that is becoming her lover. So they are having this moment. But she is talking about her love for this. And there is one part in this song that is almost like you can feel the sun on your face. Like I remember when I sang it, I was always envisioning, this is how it feels to have the sun just meet you in your face. And it is haunting. Of course, she also dies, but yeah, that is I also sang the part that is so, it's got even better. I also sang the part of her friend that is an escort, and that was actually the song I had on my like my audience, like if I could enter school. And I loved that, but I can't sing the highest note anymore. Do you listen to me? See, yes, I do. Yes, I love movies. I love movies. And yeah, this. Or if you're showing them something and they just don't get it. She's just talking about her life as a poor girl. And hear the sun on her face. Oh. It just feels like you get the sun. It's the spring sun. It's just the exact feeling put into music as the sun on your face. And doing that, like singing that note, you just raise your palette. Don't use here. But later she dies too, of course. And this was the Bohemian. Like this was Bohemian. So they were poor artists or something. And yeah. And if you have there is a song that is right after being raped, that is also one of the most well-known arias in the world, and it's Visi di Arte, and it's so beautiful, but she sings it right after being raped, and not a lot of people know that. So and that is from Tosca. So Tosca is also one of the... I lived for the art. Haven't I lived for the art? Haven't I given for the art? So she's in like a kind of state of sorrow. Just haven't I been loving the art enough? And when you hear it like this, you don't expect her just being raped, like, but that is actually what happens. There is a lot of tragedy in opera, and even though Mozart had a lot of comedy with him, there is tragedy that is often the main spectrum. Oh no. Yeah, everybody has heard that, but that was not and this is it. And when she raises that note in the end, it's just completion, kind of. Yeah, it's tragedy, but it's tragedy is kind of, isn't, like, when you have major scales and minor scales, it's often the minor scale songs that is most interesting and most haunting. So you kind of have to have a bit of like blues or minor, like a bit of sadness to make it truly like come to life, because it's more existential. I'm also having the flu, so I shouldn't even sing. But yeah, you are supposed to sing to move the strings of the heart, because a lot of the storytelling in opera they overlooked a lot of the appearance or how the actors acted, because it was like a medium that was sound alone, until we have Maria Callas coming there and just like totally Stanislavski approach to "Oh mia babino caro," and I think I can find a video of her because it's just so let's see if we can find it, but then I have to just look it up first, because you can really see her acting out. And O mio babino caro is a song about a very spoiled girl that is begging her father to let her marry this boy, and "O mio babino caro" is "Oh min käre pappa," "Oh my dear dad," and before I play, I have to just make a window so you actually can see it, because screen capture, window capture, maybe that. I just have to add a source. Let's see if this works. And we want to yes. Is it to the Yahoo? And she is one of the main opera singers that made opera be more. Oh yeah, wait, I have to have sound. Do I have sound? Ooh, where is the sound? Yeah, I just have to unplug my and unplug my speakers, because usually when I stream I just use headset, of course, but for this yeah, maybe you hear it with the headset. Maybe that is actually best. That is actually best, because yeah, I'm having a brain aneurysm apparently. I've been working a lot trying to educate myself with how to do Streamlabs and stuff, and stream, because it was very foreign to me. But this is... Do we say anything? Why don't we say anything? Yeah, of course. As I say, we have a lot of educational things. We have to just move this window down. There. No. Get down. Get down. And then we have to get it down a bit more. Ah, no, wait. We have to remove customize placeholder, and then we have to hide this. I'm still teaching myself stuff, I guess. You don't need to see me, you need to see this thing. Why doesn't it work? Yeah, everybody has heard this. Yeah, I have to fix it, like we can see that, but she's like, "Dad, if you don't let me marry him, then I'm gonna throw myself in the river and kill myself." So she's very spoiled, and used to getting her will, kind of. Why doesn't that? Maybe we need another source. Let's just test it out. Maybe I can learn something new. Browser source, of course. That might be better. Let's test it out. No, it's not this. It's not this. We can use a window. And yeah, O mio babino caro is also one of the most known arias. Screen capture, that might be. I used screen capture, I think, when I was streaming, I have no mouth and I must scream because it didn't want to work with. Do we find yeah, there you go. Can you work, please? Why are you there? You don't need to be there. Why is this there? This shouldn't be there. Go away. Ugh. There's always something I feel like we don't need to. I believe I do have to teach myself this a bit more thoroughly. Because why are you there? Is it because you are there? No. Just have to. Yeah, it's the browser source. Get the fuck out. And we don't need my camera. We just need that to work. And she, of course, this is in black and white, and it doesn't work, of course. But anyway, Maria Callas, she tried to enter into opera because she was one of the most like one of the biggest opera singers at a time. But after having not sang for a long time, she didn't feel she could do the art justice anymore, so she had a severe depression and just pulled away from. And I think she got a lot of critic too, and there was a lot about like her personal life, like with I think it was like divorce or anything like this. So it is kind of tragic, but in a way, she also knew when to stop. So yeah, black and white doesn't matter. You can find it in black and white because it's old, but it didn't want to work. I'm gonna fix that too. Maybe we can. Does this work with screen capture? Here, maybe if we do. Why is this so? If I do this and this, do we see it then? I have a lag on my other. I feel my brain is going mode now. Yeah, I think you can see it a bit. If we just do this. No. Fuck. Yeah, you can see it. Anyway, she acted out. Stanislavski method is the method of entering the character like the video and becoming the character like you are the character. And there is no you're supposed to be the character. A lot of like actors take things to a degree that it's just horrible. You can see in her face that she is actually she's begging her father. I'm gonna throw myself in the Ponte Vecchio. And tortured. I will die if not be so. And then Daddy, please. So he's asking her dad. Mio Babbo is my dad. My dear dad. So it's kind of Pieta is please. And it's just a lot of the things with music that you don't find in languages is kind of like how do I turn this back? Gooey. Black. You kind of don't have the same expression. Yeah, she really did pour herself into it, and a lot of her roles, like she also sang a lot of the other songs I showed earlier. Like, she really poured her whole like expression. It's actually kind of taken for granted how hard it is to actually express emotions, like on stage or in cinema or wherever, in movies, with your face, especially if you don't have the same mood as you're supposed to portray. And it is a lot of communication studies that goes along with drama. And like this is the weirdest advice I got from my director ever, just to like change the posture. He asked me to clench my butthole, because when I did that, it changed my kind of posture, like, and it was such like a weird thing to think of, like, can you do that? And then it actually did change the whole posture, so that kind of created a character. And a lot of the things you have to do as an actor just to portray a character is finding out how to use your whole body to enter into something you're not. But and in the Stanislavski method, which is you are supposed to become, like you can see it, the Joker movie, you can see what's it, Joaquin Phoenix is a very good actor, but he is absolutely working himself into the Stanislavski method with torture. But he is also extremely good at portraying tortured characters. Like, for example, the Joker. If it works, it works, yes. And sometimes if it doesn't work, it kind of works for something else. Like, there was this other girl that had an exam too, and she was gonna have a monologue about, like, it was a burial, and we were tired. It was like 10 p.m. in the evening. We had been there since the day started, and she was going over this monologue, and it was getting so fucking exhausting. And then when you get so exhausted, the silly stuff comes out. So then I wanted her to just, can you just do your extremely sad monologue while you are like manically just laughing? Just manically laugh. Just like it's the worst, it's the best joke you ever heard. And it was so funny. And we had such a fucking good time, just exhausting ourselves with just trying out silly stuff with the contrasts, like contrasting things, is very in drama. So because it's so apparent, like a big guy, small guy, it is very like visually, or like sound, silence, or loudness. But yeah, and in cinema you can do so much more, because you can use, like, Lord of the Rings, you can use CGI, and you can use so much more. But of course, in the later years, like nowadays, it has kind of the CGI aesthetic is not up to the same standard as it was when like Lord of the Rings is, what is it, 24 years old film or something, like over 20 years old. and that CGI is perfect still. Same with like Pirates of the Caribbean. That is also good CGI. But then you see like CGI nowadays, it's a bit like, did they do it on fire? But yeah, not to be rude to any of the artists, but yeah, it's yeah. And the way you train yourself into portraying a character, it uh is kind of a metamorphosis thing that is to many people very hard to like. A lot of people just end up just hating it, or just like feeling like taking things personal or stuff. But you have to kind of like, if you're working in a Stanislavski method, which is that you are supposed to become one with you are the character, you are not you anymore. You have to metamorphose yourself into something, and then you have to work a lot on your own, just by testing out posture, testing out what does my body do, or how does it look if I do this, and you have to do it a lot just to find that that perfect element. Like for example, Andy Serkis in that portrays Gollum, how he found out through just looking at his cat that Gollum would just because he was looking at his cat and he thought, okay, Gollum is having these cuffs, maybe I should do it just like my cat, and that worked. But yeah, that was a cat inspiring him throwing up. Yeah, he went into, yeah, Heath Ledger in the Batman movie really went into character on set, and it's so tragic, but of course he was I'm not gonna judge, but I think he was under the effect of drugs or something, and then he had a car crash, if I'm not mistaken. But the way he portrayed Joker, I don't think there is a Joker except for Joaquin Phoenix. Those are two different Jokers. Those two Jokers can't be like they can't be recreated. They are the S tier, and they kind of made it impossible to make a new Joker. Yeah, and actually, when I was young and like watched Lord of the Rings for the first time in the movies, that was when I found out I want to do this. I want to work with like with movies. I want to work with theater. I just want to work with stories and such, because it had such an impact on me. And I think it did with a lot of people, because they had so much like behind the scenes from the movie. I think it's 16 hours of just behind the scenes of how the work is done, where they really do show the appreciation to every part of the whole, like orchestrated, like and in I don't know if you've seen it, but in the end credits on the Lord of the Rings movies, they are stating how many works, like jobs they created just by making the movies, and I think it's over 50,000, but I'm guessing right now. It is stated in a lot of movies, but not all movies. And yeah, and a lot of actors, like you don't have to be the best actor in the world. If you have, like, if you get good chemistry with a troupe, you can just by doing that be like used more in their productions. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you are the best of the best. You have to be having a chemistry with your troupe. That is the best quality you can do, because everybody can learn stuff. But working with people that is hard to work with, or like refusing to adhere to the idea, the creative project, is just impossible. So it doesn't necessarily have so much to do with how good you are as how good you are with team working, or working with people in such a weird, and like when you are working in drama, you have to come you have to touch uncomfortable zones with yourself. Like you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you have to also enter other people's like discomfort, and you have to also play them. If you stand on the stage, like let's take a scenario, because a lot of things that is happening on the stage comes from the moment and the emotions that comes to the actor on stage. If they're supposed to cry and they start laughing, then they can't cry, so they have to laugh, and then they have to kind of like use that emotion that they produce. And sometimes you have to kind of in theater you are supposed to play the other person good. Like that is a rule. You're never gonna like if you're doing improv, you aren't gonna have like the kind of way of working that makes it harder for the person to interact or have like a reaction. Like you can play like a silent, like a part that is silent, but then the other person will probably be more like contrasting that silence. But sometimes on stage, if you anger your colleague and you see that there is potential here and you just go for it, you have to have the guts to actually challenge your work buddies to the extent where you actually have to fight with them sometimes, and you have to scream and you have to shout, and then you have to go down and just like yeah, let's just continue. And that is actually one of the most unique things, because for some reason when you are fighting in creative processes, you are fighting for the same product. Like you're fighting for the same thing. You want to create something, and the fight always adhere from I want this to be this. So you kind of fight for the same thing. So after having like I hate you, fuck you, you are always so annoying, whatever it spews out, it's just like, oh, okay, let's just continue like this. And that is actually very, very good if you have people that you can just like have that dynamic with. You can have that anger and then sit down and then continue work, and have that respect that is actually eventually gonna happen wherever you are on stage. Yeah, you have to help each other. Like if you are not helping your other actors, you are not an actor. You are actually damaging the production, because it is teamwork to the extent where you have to be so aware of when your other colleagues need you. Like it's not like, let's say your drama colleague, they have forgotten all their lines, and then you just stand there and you have said your lines and it's Shakespeare. What do? You don't have a souffleur. A souffleur is somebody that reads your lines, so you have to compensate maybe. So then you have to create something while they try to remember, and this is something you have to do so fast and so intuitively that when we are working or practicing, a lot of the practices are actually trying to talk about the same thing without knowing what we are talking about, like just talking together simultaneously without knowing what we are talking about. Like it could be like, hey, I am this, and we don't know what the phrases are gonna be. We just listen to each other, and then we just try to be talking in a simultaneously way, or moving in a simultaneous way. Like we always, you have to have a 360-degree awareness of where are they, what are they doing, and you have to sense them so you can be that that comrade, which is really like a unique like you don't get that if you're working with in HR with whoever who just is so bored with all the complaints and HR. I have actually studied HR, and HR have the stupidest ways of, let's have some teamwork, yay! We are gonna be doing jumping jacks and holding hands because we need to be fixing our relationship because we are having toxic culture growing in our corporate. There is no savior there. If our business have toxic culture, like toxic culture is like the if the workers are having like the crash in communication or chemistry, to a degree that it is actually ending up with fights or violence, and sometimes with damaging the business. The only way to actually save something like that is to actually fire everybody and start anew. Yeah, Larry David. Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, and to be or not to be. Like, and then just like, yeah, having a skit like that, it would be hilarious, but it wouldn't be Shakespeare. I don't know if does everybody know the full "To Be or Not to Be" monologue? It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. I don't remember it by head, but it's not just to be or not to be. It is actually really philosophically. I can see if I can actually find it, because that is maybe one of the most known like statements in theater. Like it's so like, a lot of skits goes out how you pronounce like to be or not to be or not to be, like where you put your pressures, or to be or not to be, like how you do things. But the full monologue is actually one of my it kind of like when I just experienced it the first time, I was like, huh, this is really more than just to be or not to be. I don't know how long it is. I have Shakespeare in my bookshelf, but yeah, to be or not to be. Let's see if I can find it there. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether this nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing and them to die to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand neutral shocks, the flesh to hair to this consummation, devoutly to be wished to die to sleep, is actually just a very existentially monologue about wanting to be at peace, to be or not to be, to live or not to live, basically. And if I am to advise somebody that I recently saw, it was Benedict Cumberbatch, I think. He was doing the monologue at the Globe, and he did it just like, yes, he did it to like a standard that is very nice. Yeah, if you are interested in theater, do check out the Globe, which is in London, yeah, because there is a lot of Shakespeare there, and a lot of like Ian McKellen, everybody, every big actor, and every big actor from theater, not just Hollywood movies, but absolutely. Like if I had a bucket list, I want to go to the Globe and see at least Ian McKellen. Unfortunately, too late to see Sir Christopher Lee before he passed away. But yeah, and Sir Ian McKellen, because he is also a sir. And just having experienced the theater that is the Globe, that is kind of if I had a bucket list, that would be on my bucket list. But yeah, and I don't have that much attachment to, like, you have La Scala, which is an opera house in Italy. That is one of the big opera houses. I don't have the same like passion for that, because I when I started with drama, I kind of just fell in love with drama more than opera, because it was so much. It was so much more freedom to like exist, and in that existence kind of create things, and sometimes just stupid things, like you could just make idiotic things and clown your way through whatever. You could do the to be or not to be in a clown, like to be or not to be, that is the question. Like you could, and a lot of like how you just test out weird ways of doing things. It is fun. It's like playing. It's like being kids again. And then you have to kind of just, if you're lucky, you end up with people around you that is very like passionate about it. I feel that the group I have been working with now, I am very impressed by their talents, and like how they adapt to like just a lot of improv. We have been doing a lot of improv. How they just do it, and how it's just so natural in a lot of them. I've been so impressed and actually grateful to actually have people like that to work with, because a lot of times you can meet people that in teamwork in general, you meet people that is not easy to work with. I remember I had an exam with when I was studying business with people, and we hated each other. We just like this, and we came in and just like that was our greetings. If we even had energy to just meet like eyes, and having to do an exam, like a group exam with people like that, I don't think that is something anybody should go and endure. Yeah, it is hard to be a good actor, and in theater you don't have second takes. You have, oh shit, I fucked up, I need to improvise. and I had to do this. I wrote a poem, and I forgot. Like I remember the first verse. I wrote this poem. I remember the first verse, and then I was like, "Ha! I have forgotten everything," and then I just had to like wing it. So I just made a new poem. And luckily, poetry can be whatever. It can be barf fart, like in Dispatch. They are in the first episode. They are like saying, uh, "What a poetic phrasing" or something. But yeah, and how you just you, poetry is whatever. It is IKEA couch with curtains drawn. I wish I was an elephant. Water. That's poetry, basically. It can be just stupid, absurd things. And that is actually, if you just wing it, you win it. Yeah, it was very tough because I did this poem. I did fuck up in front of family. That was part of why I wrote the poem. Which is maybe why I got so because I don't get stage fright usually. I get like after shocks after stage fright because I had this weird way of just like having so much like I was so passionate about it that I totally forgot myself. So I was like, you just direct me. I'll do whatever you want, and not like in a dirty way. Actually, at the exam, we had like each had to be doing a monologue and having to create a play. They stated, like the professor stated, there is not allowed to undress, no nakedness. And just having them state that was kind of funny because there must be a reason why they stated that. So I kind of found that very funny. And I did my exam, my own, like that was acting exam. Like you had to make your own stage. You had to dress the stage, and you had to make your own like scenography, like how you move across the stage and doing a monologue. And the same day, I had just been at the hospital having an operation, just local and like anesthetics. So I just came just out of the hospital and just onto the stage, and of course that impacted me. But I was doing a monologue about this girl who was sick. So it kind of, she was sick and she was kind of turning into a ghost. And I remember I just, okay, I can use this because it's what you do if you're on stage and suddenly you fucking feel you have diarrhea. You have to kind of use that. Not shit on stage, but you have to kind of maybe adhere to what your body is doing and just put it into the play. And that is actually where the real creative part of like actors really shows. So and a lot of practice. Everybody can do it, but it takes a lot of practice. Like everybody can learn to be creative, but it takes a lot of practice and a lot of ability to just be stupid and just allow yourself to be totally clown. And I'm gonna end this stream with just another appreciation, because I was streaming Dispatch earlier, and that is a lot of like YouTuber streamers and Critical Role. Critical Role is, of course, they have done a lot of voice acting, but I bought that game on a whim because I'm not really interested in like superheroes. But when I started playing that game, and I noticed how good all of these voice actors were, and how impressed I was by the people who were like not coming from a background where they maybe have had a lot of practice with this, and how fantastically brilliant they actually brought that character to life. I was really impressed. So I might be streaming that after this stream. I'm just gonna go eat and stuff. But yeah, that made me like, and it's really like I love the humor of that game. So it was really I bought it on a whim, and then I just like, oh, this is really good game. Like this is really good game. So and just seeing the pure talent in the characters, and knowing that a lot of them doesn't necessarily have like a training from theater, and them doing the job they do to the degree that the talent really creates a character. I was very impressed. So yeah, maybe I'll be streaming that, because I ended that on like in between episodes. I finished the first episode and then I stopped in the second episode right after. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, and thank you for your input. It's always like I'm a big geek about theater. Back in my days, I was kind of like a big geek to the harmony degree. Like I had straight A's and stuff. Nowadays, I don't have straight A's, but I'm still a big geek about. I'm not studying that much, but I'm still a big geek about storytelling, and that is also like a lot of what I'm doing or wanting to do with streams of games, because a lot of games have extremely good storytelling and extremely good actors and artwork, like Silent Hill F. I promised to play that today. That game is I'm just loving that game because how the artwork is just so, everything is so intertwined and necessary. To nothing is like over like unnecessarily. You have to find the small things in your journals and stuff, and they have done the artwork to a degree that is just chef kiss. So yeah, and I love that you have to play through the game, and then you go to New Game Plus, and then you are pronounced to you see you're now playing a new game, and there is the New Game Plus 2, so it has this PT vibe, and it gave me the feeling that I thought I beat the game, but I haven't beaten the game yet, have I? So yeah. So where I am in that playthrough is I am going to Shu's house. We have been to Rinko's, if you have played that game, and we just escaped a bus. So yeah. And I promised to play that game today, so that might be the thing I do first. But yeah, thank you for joining me and listening to me geek out about things. And while I was tuning my harp, I found my this bee. This needs to have some antidepressants, I think, so you can get back into shape. I never play other like instruments. I just play just to think, and I advise people to do that. You don't have to have good skill either. You just have to put together notes and know how to tune. And you can tune like string instruments with your mobile phone and tuners, of course. And I also want to relearn myself with the ocarina. And when I learned my ocarina the first time, I harassed my brother with my ocarina because we had room like wall in wall, and he hated my ocarina so much that at the New Year's Eve he shut it up with the with the New Year's rockets. And I can understand him, because now when I'm touching the ocarina and trying to relearn it, it is not beautiful to hear somebody actually failing flutes or violins. But yeah, this is a lute harp. A lute harp. It is kind of like, the bad thing with this harp is that I don't have, like, on these I don't have like they have that you can like tune it up to a sharp or down to a flat, but it doesn't have that. So I have to tune it, and then if I have to do a sharp or a flat, well, sucks to be me, because I can't unless I retune it. So this is kind of like a harp. You kind of just it's kind of just like a small harp you bring with you everywhere. And yeah, it's kind of like a lute, if you know what that is, but in harp form. Almost like an in-between thing between a lyre and a harp. But if I were to invest in a new harp a day, I would definitely get a harp with like these to be able to like tune them to sharps and flats with just because that is very good when you're playing dynamically, or not just in one scale. And I don't know a lot of songs on harp, but I knew every Zelda song on ocarina, and maybe I will torture my neighbors to relearn myself ocarina. Maybe I should do that. But yeah, I don't think that is a good stream, me just torturing with flute playing. But it would be funny if I could just endure without going cuckoo crazy. But yeah, I used to be very good at ocarina playing. No, I'm not, so I have to reclaim that. But yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna take something to eat, and then I'm just gonna play Silent Hill Left maybe soon. And yeah, and I'm gonna put up the schedule today. I have promised that. But I have been busy and having a lot to do, so yeah, I can put it up on schedule, so I have a like just have at least an hour to go by. So yeah, but thank you for joining, and if you ever feel like singing, just remember, use your support system, never strain your throat, and never think that you are tone deaf or that you can't sing, because every single person in the world can learn to sing. It is just